Guys, come take a walk with me as I walk through this beautiful Greenwich, Connecticut neighborhood and talk about some watch related topics. Two of them being buying a watch as a gift for someone else, and one thing that makes you a true watch enthusiast. So, guys, it's the springtime right now, maybe going into summer, and I believe it's time that we get outside. I must admit, I'm someone that during the winter time, I just stay inside. Even though I go to the gym by probably like 3, 4 days a week, I still don't like the fact that I don't do any outdoor activities, like just walking itself, maybe even going for a run. I just don't do it during the winter time. I don't know. Comment down below, white people. What is it about working out, whether it's running, cycling, anything outdoor, physical activities in 30, 20-degree weathers, sometimes even lower?
I caught up with Chelsea and Michael, who were jogging by and were nice to just stop for a quick second. And I said, what are you doing running? And you're saying it was really good out?
It's the perfect texture for running. Very low impact on its dry snow, so your feet don't get wet.
Side thing, but it's too nice to not be out here.
Go ahead and keep on the run. I'm sorry to have kept you, but I appreciate you guys talking with us.
Stay warm.
All right, thanks. We've seen a lot of people out here, like you said, running, sledding, just enjoying it. One thing, oops, that can happen.
No!
Unfortunately. Looks like Chelsea's okay. You okay? Yes, okay.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Comment down below, what's the benefit of working out in sub-degree climate?
Don't worry, I'll wait.
I'm seeing people running, cycling around these neighborhoods, white people with shirts off, like I said, and it just doesn't make sense. I don't even want to be outside just to go to a store, much less be out running, cycling, sweating, and getting colder. I do encourage you guys though, now I think would be the best time to get outside, get some fresh air. It's good for the health, it's good for your mental health, physical health. And yeah, so if you guys are watching this video right now, hopefully you guys get up off the seat and go for a walk afterwards, or go for a walk while listening. But anyways, guys, let's get into the video where we're going to discuss buying a watch as a gift and some of the things you have to think about, and one thing that makes you a real watch collector, what makes you a real watch enthusiast. So before we get into the video, remember, give it a like, hit the subscribe button, and share it anywhere to anyone that you think would enjoy this content. Now, let's get into it. Let's start off with a wrist shot. And of course, guys, I have my Mega Constellation 168.005. I love this timepiece. Beautiful, gets the job done. 34mm size case. And it's actually wearable to go for a run, go for a walk, of course, go to the gym. And I compared it to my Rolex Explorer 2 16570 that I once wore to go for a jog. Guys, I regretted that day. That watch was so substantial compared to this, especially. You would always know by every motion that you had a watch on your wrist. And that's not the time where you want to know that you have a timepiece on your wrist. This fine timepiece does have a presence on the wrist. You'll know you have a timepiece on your wrist. But compared to the Explorer, it was just too much for just an everyday activity, going to the gym, going for a run. I couldn't do it. But with this Omega Constellation, 100% I could wear it all the time, no matter what. Actually, let me take that back. I definitely can't go swimming or shower or anything water related with this timepiece. That's the only thing I wouldn't do with this watch. And to be honest, with any watch, I don't like swimming or showering with. I can remember when I had my Rolex Submariner 16610. I went to the beach, I'll sit on the sand, I'll have it on my wrist while I'm on the sand, but once I get into the water, I'll take it off. I don't know why. It's just something in my head. I'm just paranoid. Even though it was, waterproof, I still wasn't going to take the risk of going into the water with a Rolex Submariner. Comment down below if you guys are the same, if you're paranoid like that you're scared to go into the ocean to swim with your luxury timepiece. But now for the first point, when it comes to buying a watch as a gift for someone. We all know it's graduation season. Kids are getting out of college, universities. high school, even high school, I think somebody that graduates high school could get a watch. The point being that the watch doesn't have to be expensive. That's one thing you guys need to consider and think about when trying to buy a gift for someone. It doesn't have to be expensive. There's a lot of inexpensive timepieces that are great, that are respected even in the watch community, that you could buy for someone, especially as their first or second watch. There's brands like Seiko, Casio, the Casio G-Shock. Sure, you could go to Tudor, even Rolex. That would be a great gift to give someone, especially for graduation. But in all honesty, it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be a Tudor or a Rolex. Like I said, a Seiko, something inexpensive, a Timex would get the job done. A piece of advice that I would give, though, especially if you're buying someone their first watch as a gift, try to aim towards a new watch, a modern watch. Don't go vintage. For some reason, it takes a while for vintage timepieces to grow on people and for them to get that love and obsession for the look of a vintage watch. Sure, there's some people, few, that initially they gravitate towards vintage watches. But I think for that first watch as a gift, especially if you want that person to actually wear it, some people aren't watch people, but if you give them a new watch as a gift, they'll wear it. But thinking of a old, they'll look at it as old, especially if it's vintage watch. If you give them as a gift, they might just throw it in the drawer, not knowing and appreciating the value of what the timepiece really is. So my advice would be just buy a new watch. Like I said, doesn't have to be expensive. Could be a Seiko, a Citizen, Timex, a Swatch. Could be an Omega, a Moon Swatch. Could be anything. What could happen when you buy a watch like these? It's inexpensive, but once someone gets a watch on their wrist, it becomes a part of them, and that's like planting the seed of creating and growing a person to be a watch collector or a watch enthusiast. It's not immediate that this person just falls in love with timepieces and just wants to get the next watch. It takes some time. They may get some compliments, at work, like somebody might say, oh, that's a nice watch, even though it's inexpensive or, cheap or whatever the case may be. They may get a compliment, or they may just get used to having a timepiece on their wrist. Eventually, they may start doing their research. They may see YouTube videos like this, and then they'll start getting into it and realizing, wow, a Seiko is nothing. Let me go to a Grand Seiko. Let me do some research. Okay, Rolex, AP, Vacheron, Patek. And then they'll just start seeing the levels of it and start appreciating timepieces for what they are. My second and last point that I want to make is something that I've realized that would make you a true watch enthusiast, that will make you a true watch collector. And that is someone that's gone through the stages of losing money when it comes to collecting timepieces, especially in the past, let's say 3-4 years, when certain timepieces was hyped, when certain timepieces you could go into the AD and buy it, and then when you walk out, you could sell it for maybe 1,000, 2,000, sometimes more, depending on the timepiece. Those people that were, in that hype buying the timepieces then, sure, they love watches, maybe, but it's the people that buy a timepiece now, where you walk out the store and immediately it loses its value. You could buy it on the secondary market for less. Those are, and especially when they know they could buy it on the secondary market for less. Those are the people that I believe could be true watch enthusiasts. The ones that, okay, want to build a relationship with the AD now. When you buy the timepiece and you can't walk out and make a profit. These are the people I believe are true watch enthusiasts. A true watch enthusiast is someone that, like I said, loses money when they buy timepieces, and they don't hold a grudge. They don't get upset and just lose the hobby, lose the passion because they lose a couple $1,000 buying watches. I believe the past 2-3 years definitely exposed true watch enthusiasts and the fakes, because like I said, a lot of people got into it because of the hype, because of the fact that yes, you could buy a timepiece and be able to sell it at a profit, which is great and all, guys. I enjoy that part of it too, but that doesn't affect my passion and my desire for enjoying watches and learning about timepieces. I'm not going through the phases of the ups and downs and getting out when it's just bad or whatever the case may be. I'm in it. You guys know it. I'm making videos every week talking watches. The passion is still there, even though I've lost money as well. I've lost not as much as certain people, but I've definitely lost a couple $1,000s when it comes to buying timepieces. I just bought timepieces that I loved. I enjoyed it. I sold it. I didn't want to hold on to it. I just wanted to move on to something else. And that was it. Initially, buying the timepiece wasn't because I wanted to make a profit. I bought the timepiece because I loved it. And if I had to sell it at a loss, oh well, who cares? I enjoyed it, experienced the timepiece, and that's it. Moved on. No hard feelings. But it's the people that have the hard feelings and then they just fall out of love with collecting timepieces. Those are the ones you got to keep an eye on. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I don't want to make it too long, but if it's the 3 things I want you guys to take away from this video is, 1, get your ass up and go for a walk, go for a run, do something outdoors. It's the time of the year where there's no excuses. 2, buying a watch as a gift for someone doesn't have to be expensive. I know, especially if you watch my channel, a lot of the timepieces that I talk about tend to be $1,000 and up. That doesn't have to be the case. You could buy a watch for someone that's just $100, $200, $80. There's affordable timepieces out there. The 3rd point is being a true watch enthusiast. Don't be someone that's in it for the hype, that's in it to try to make money. You have to love timepieces for what they are, and that's items that you could buy and keep for the rest of your life. Move on, pass it on to the next generation, pass it on to a family member, things like that. Even though there's some that you may sell, I've sold some timepieces to buy something else. That's normal. That shouldn't be the ultimate goal as far as buying timepieces to sell to make a profit. If it happens, great. Who's going to be mad at that? But don't let that be the primary reason why you buy watches. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Give the video a like, comment down below your opinion on these 3 points that I made. Again, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. Turn your notification on so you can know whenever I post a video, and stay tuned for some more videos.